Hi, Professor Johnson. This is Jacob, and I will be using an interview format to submit my reflection. So, Mr. Mayton, what risks and/or failures did you find you achieved during this Rube Goldberg project? Well, sir, at some points during my Rube Goldberg experiment, I tried to use a ping pong ball and a fan in order to blow the ping pong ball in a direction and knock over some books for a later portion of the Rube Goldberg machine. What I found through that failure was that the ping pong ball is actually way too light to knock over any of the books, and the fan would just knock over the lightest ones anyway. So I wasn't able to use that part. So you'll be able to see that actually in the video background, possibly. What were you hoping to achieve in this Rube Goldberg project that you were making? That's a great question. I was hoping to achieve something that was greater than the Rube Goldberg project that I made junior year of high school. I made one that was pretty flimsy, that didn't really work too well, and was mostly used. It was used in my physics class to explain velocity and different variables and stuff like that. So in this one, I wanted to not only create a better one that worked, but also one that explored a lot of different creative options that I had. Did you have to adjust in your Rube Goldberg project that you made? Yes, I did. As I told you before, with the ping pong ball and the fan, I ended up not using that. I ended up having to use a car that I rolled down a ramp instead. I also had the problem of the car would veer to the side often and it wouldn't hit the baseball. So I ended up having to use sort of like guardrails, which I just used with some packaging. I also had the problem of the books that I had would often just fall down right away. So I had to find specific books that would stand upright, not only on the carpet, but also on the table itself. Lastly, with the water bottle, I found that the water bottle was pretty inconsistent. So what I had to do for my final take is I actually had to line it up just right in order for the water bottle to accurately fall down exactly where I wanted it to and go into the cup. Lastly, did you learn any lessons by making this Rube Goldberg machine? Yes, I did. I learned that you have to be creative in whatever you do and whatever you're making, especially in this Rube Goldberg machine. There were a lot of failures that I didn't account for that I ended up having to improvise with different objects that I had around my house. I had a limited amount of objects, so I had to make do with the best that I had, especially since my family just did spring cleaning, so we really don't have anything that I could have used any better. So I had to make the best with what I had. I also learned that you have to accept the failures. I kept trying to use the ping pong ball and the fan. It was really hard, and I kept working on it for 15 to 20 minutes, but eventually I had to accept that it wouldn't knock over the stuff that I wanted it to, and it wouldn't work in the way that I wanted it to, and I had to improvise and adapt.